3, 2. Is he ready? This suspense is incredible. Don't breathe. Don't breathe.
No, we had to wait for like Tyson to get over there. All right, ready? Let's do this, Jerry. Let's rock out. Jerry, first of all, hey guys, welcome to Debate the News on this the 7th day of March, Friday, 2025. Got a really great show here for you. Set lined up for you guys tonight. We have Elon versus Trump's cabinet, and we have Trump's schizophrenic, I guess, Russian views. That's what we're going to speak about. We're going to speak about a lot of other things, Jerry, as well. I'm excited to be here. Hey guys, if you guys are on CH, make sure you guys are mind everyone else up, bring them up to the stage. That way they can handle the stage properly, folks, properly. So, Jerry, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful, Mr. Bing. Thank you for asking, my brother. How are you doing on this beautiful Friday?
As always, Jerry, I'm on top of the world, man. On top of the world. Jerry, what's that? What's that person right there? Who's that?
Oh, is he here? Is he here? Is he
No,
here?
no. I know he's. We got something. Who's that? Well, forget it. Well, anyway, Jerry. Look, let's just jump right into this show, man. We got Skald. Skald has a hell of a dateline for us, hopefully. But do you want to bring us in with some like get us hyped up with that? It's time and all that other stuff, bro.
Okay, Mr. Bing, are you going? Okay, yes, I do, Mr. Bing. Let's go. So, everybody, you about to do the intro? Debate the news.
Let's get ready to rumble. This DJ.
Let's go, Mr. Bing.
Hey guys, thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Hey, if you're listening to us on a podcast, be sure to make sure you guys make sure you guys not only just download the Chatter social app, download it and use it. And come over here and join us for a live conversation. All right, because guess what, folks? We do these rooms every night live approximately 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Moved to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys come join us live. Chatter Social. So whether you're on iTunes, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, wherever you may be, make sure you guys are following us first of all, and come join us over here on the Chatter Social app. Download it at either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Hey, if you guys are here in the room, make sure you guys are following us on the podcast up top. All you guys have to do is hit the link up top. Guys, follow that podcast. Leave us a review, and also make sure not just leave us a review. Download 10 episodes or so. Once again, download 10 episodes or so. So with that being said, folks, I'm excited about this show, Jerry. Hopefully you're just as excited as I am. Let me turn this back over to you, Jerry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bing, for that incredible intro, my brother. I appreciate you for that. And welcome to Debate the News to all you wonderful people in this audience, especially people in the goo. So, is Skald going to come in and do our Dateline? And I got the perfect person to do the other one, Angela. Is Skald locked and loaded, Mr. Bing?
Skald's locked and loaded. Angela, get us Angela. What we want from you is like 4 or 5 things, just headlines. No one's going to challenge you on them. You're going to be able to read those off to us after Skald's done, and then we're going to round it back up to. We're going to bring it back from that to La La Land, back to reality with Tirah. Go ahead, Skald.
You're protected, Angela. Mr. Skald, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready to go, Jerry.
3, 2, nail it. Go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Debate the News, Skald here with the Liberal Dateline on March 7th, 2025. We are 44 days into the Trump presidency, and here's what's going on. A second federal judge has indefinitely blocked Trump's admin's freeze of federal grants. Once again, cancer research is being funded in this country, something I think we can all agree on. Trump has suspended a tariff, even though Canada has said they're going to keep theirs on. Looks like Canada's not blinking, but we might be. A federal judge has reinstated the National Labor Relations Board member after being unceremoniously dismissed. Additionally, Musk's Doge is continuing to cause havoc in Washington. Their reps tried to gain access to the federal child support office and earnings data of nearly all Americans. They don't have access to it yet. However, Doge actually went to the African Development Foundation. They were blocked. They went and got marshals with guns and went into that building to see what was going on. Lastly, Trump's attacks against law firms who are trying to block him continues as he's sanctioned yet again another office that is going against him. Lastly, we had the crypto conference going on in Washington, D.C., and I am coming to you guys live from Washington, D.C. myself.
Shout out to Skald. Thank you for that Dateline, my brother. I appreciate
awesome,
that.
Skald.
But I think we're about to do something really epic right now. I got a quick question, Miss Angela.
Yes.
Are you ready? Because I know you about to just. I'm gonna bring you in on 3, okay? I'm from 3 to 1. I need you to take a deep breath. I need you to crush this, okay?
Yep.
Okay, Angela, you ready? Say 3, 2, get it, go.
Here's my question to all of you. The question is basically, when have we last said the names Peyton McNabb, Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungary, DJ Daniel, and stood up for them and clapped and cheered them on and basically felt what we have all felt in our country? What is going wrong? What is going on? Where's right? Where is wrong? Do we realize what side we are falling on? Are we falling on right? Are we falling on wrong? Are we falling on what we want as individuals, or what we're falling on what we want as the American population, as our country? What are we doing, and where are our hearts? And when is the last time I have heard someone stand up for these persons, these maybe no-name persons who maybe stand up for every single part of the individuals that we may be? When is that time? And that's what I stand for. I stand for these people. I stand for us as a country. I yield.
Thank you for that, Angela. Wow, she was built for this, Jonathan. Angela was built for this Dateline type of stuff.
What was that, a Dateline though?
Whatever.
Oh, it was just a political expression of her
It was an
views. It was not a
opinion.
Dateline.
Why?
But at least
Dateline.
aliens.
Why so much hate on
No,
Angela?
respectfully, I love that Angela spoke up. She spoke well. It wasn't a Dateline. That's all I was saying. Just the
Angela, on behalf of Debate the News, I apologize to you.
No, on behalf of Debate the
Sorry,
News, we
sorry.
appreciate you.
Mr. Bing, so I'm going to pass it to you, my brother. I don't know if you want to continue on with the Elon versus Trump, because before we stopped, you said something about something that was going on before, but someone said that was not true. They did a fact check.
No. That was about the pedophile. We were talking about the pedophile stuff. That's what wasn't true.
Okay.
Yeah. So once again, like I said, when it came from Cindy and she said X, that's why I preferenced when we were speaking before, it's recorded. That's I don't know how true it is, and I prefaced it with that. So I was confirmed not to be true, and that's why when we talk to people on the right, we always got to preface things with I don't know how true it is. But we got Tirah. Here that can give us I guess help us out with that Dateline.
Facts. Go ahead, Tirah.
I am not going to respond to Angela's non-Dateline, which was certainly very nice of her to say, but not right in the right place. Just a few more things that happened. The Trump administration canceled $400 million to Columbia University, ostensibly because of its anti-Semitism, and I think we should expect more cuts to universities that did not that allowed student protests about Israel, etc. Robert F. Kennedy has asked the Department of Health and Human Services, has asked the Center for the CDC to study vaccines and autism, not the causes of autism, but vaccines and autism, because I think he is still looking for that link. Gene Hackman, we discussed, is very, very sad story. His wife died apparently a week before he did of hantavirus, which is typically you come into contact with rat feces, things like that. And she was only like 60 something and he was 30 years older, but she died. He had Alzheimer's, a heart condition, etc. So he was presumably wandering around the house not, he probably didn't even feed himself. I mean, we don't know what happened, but it's just a very sad story. Trump he's finally finished naming people to the board of the Kennedy Center. Our final entries on the board are Laura Ingraham and Maria Bartiromo. At the same time, Lin-Manuel Miranda said that the version of Hamilton, which was going to appear there, will no longer be performed at the Kennedy Center because they are not representative of America in many ways. Okay, the Trump administration is planning more cuts. They are going to be cutting the VA by 70,000 people. I think there are 470,000 people in the VA employed, so that's a 15% cut. Almost 20%. So that's going to really impact veterans services, et cetera. And the Trump administration has been cutting off Ukraine's access to security information, to satellite information, et cetera, which is and has led to Ukraine being unable to defend itself from Russian attacks. So Trump is really putting his finger on the scale there, as he has in the past, in favor of Russia, because he's literally not giving Ukraine the tools that they need to even fight on their own. Thanks.
Tirah, first and foremost, Trump didn't want that Hamilton anyway. That's definitely a DEI cast, So
They could have made it with all white people, They didn't have to.
that's what I
It could have
said. He's
been.
like, he's like, what? They're not using a white
If I
Hamilton?
if
Get
I
out
say
of
that, I'm
here.
gonna get in trouble.
They
If
got
I
a
say
black
that,
George Washington? Get out of here.
if I say that, if I say that, I get scolded.
No, we're talking about Hamilton, bro. We're talking about the show Hamilton.
Hamilton was it's very multicultural. I saw it in New York 3 times, in fact, and Lin-Manuel Miranda was playing the lead, and he is Hispanic, and George Washington was black, etc. I don't know the cast that he was planning on bringing to the Kennedy Center, but we would assume that it was very multicultural.
Exactly. So
I'm
yeah. So yeah. Also, we're talking about Hamilton, and oh wow, go ahead, Jerry. I
can,
had something
can,
else. You jumped in.
can I have a turn?
Yeah.
Tara, what did you say about vaccines and autism? Is that something Kennedy's looking into?
Well, here's the thing. Kennedy, even though there have been many studies, certainly on the MMR vaccine and autism, saying there's no link, and there have been many studies just vaccines in general and autism. Kennedy does not believe those studies, so he is authorizing or asked for another study. Now, when he first came in, he said he was going to look for the causes of autism, but I'm not aware that he's asked for a general study on that. He actually said he would know the causes within 2 weeks, so obviously that didn't happen. But I don't think that he's asked for anything more than a study of vaccines and autism, which will be yet another study.
So he does not agree with a particular finding of a particular study. Well, I guess one would have to wonder who did that study that he doesn't agree with. But you know me, Tara.
There have been about 40 years of studies, Jerry, one of which
I
was
know.
500,000 people in Denmark,
I know.
500,000 kids, so it's a lot.
I know, but how big is the pharmaceutical business? How big is that's a whole nother story. But how big is the whole hustle on vaccines? I know Dr. Catherine don't want to hear this, but you know how I feel about all this vaccine talk. I'm with Kennedy on that. Definitely dig deeper. I'm with that. 100%. Mr. Bing.
Yeah, bro. I get that, Jerry. But Tara was talking about. She spoke about the 400 million to the colleges. It seems as if we're now becoming more of a totalitarian. I don't know. It's like we have to align with the government in order to get funding. Is that what it is now? I mean, what made this country so great? Because when you look at I think NYU, and you look at some of those other universities, they're not conservatives. So it's trying to force conservative values on them. I mean, we don't want our universities to be conservative. I'm sorry. We want our universities to be free thinkers, and within that, people that some of the greatest things, some of the greatest inventions in the world happen as a result of these free thinking universities. Look at Meta coming out of Harvard, and just all these other things. If you are trying to push these conservative values, it's going to, I think, put us behind the 8 ball. I mean, when you look at those Arab countries, they're predominantly Muslims, and they're predominantly Muslim, and so they adhere to that. And what they do is they do oil. They're not bastions of innovation like over here in the U.S. and China. They're not they follow the communist lines. They're not bastions of innovation over there. They take our technology and they improve upon it. You know, so I mean, Tara, correct me if I'm wrong in what I'm saying. Anyone, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Here's what's happening, and it is really unfortunate. Not only is there pushback against just grants, for medical studies that are really not very partisan issues in general, and it seems like Doge doesn't really understand some of these studies and has taken against them. But what you also saw, and this one really bothered me, was that the Ed Martin, who's the acting District of Columbia District Attorney, sent a letter to Georgetown Law School and said, do you have any DEI in your curriculum? Because if you do have any DEI in your curriculum, you don't take it out, we're never going to hire anyone from your school again, more or less. Think about that.
Wow.
And it was extraordinary. And the dean, to his credit, wrote back and said, you have no right to interfere with our curriculum and to try and penalize our students because of this is like a free speech violation. But it's pretty extreme what they're doing. Skald mentioned that they literally had taken security clearances away from the law firm that represented Hillary Clinton when she was looking for the Steele dossier because they don't like him. He doesn't like them. I mean, we are seeing sort of unprecedented government intrusion into free speech, in my view, in ways that I think would surprise some people if they really looked at some of these things. Now, some of these things will not, all the executive orders, many of them won't actually happen. And they all say, subject to law, and they'll all be challenged. But we are living in a time where basically the government is telling universities exactly what to teach and what happens if they don't teach it in that way. And that to me is scary.
And I'd like to point out that this Perkins Coie hit. This is not the only law firm that's been hit. So he also just went after another one here. Give me a second. Let me pull up the name because this just happened. Covington and Burling. Yeah, so Covington and Burling is another one in addition to Perkins Coie. So basically, these law firms that are opposing his policies and things like that, he's now targeting them directly, pulling their clearances, pulling their government contracts.
And saying they cannot contract with government contractors. In other words, if you're a contractor of the government, you can't hire these people. Actually trying to say they can't even go into federal buildings.
I mean, I don't see how this is going to pass the sniff test of any court. I mean, this is incredibly targeted.
No, I actually think
seems
it
very
will.
unfair.
Skald,
Yeah.
I think it will,
You
because
think it
the
will?
thing is, the president has the right to withhold security clearances. That's clearly within his purview. Now, the reason he's doing it, I think, is wrong and might not pass the sniff test. But if he just says national security reasons, he can get away with this. I don't know how far he can take it. Can he stop contractors from, using these law firms? But I don't think contractors are going to use these law firms, are they? Why would they take the risk? So essentially, I think he actually can get away with this, and it's sort of scary stuff.
Absolutely. No, guys, listen to me. So, if anyone disagrees with anything you've heard so far, because I have a different perspective on what you guys heard so far, because what we're listening to right now, as I sit here and hear this thing over and over again, is Tara, myself, and Skull. We jumped in and we said some things that pretty much. When we spoke about the school and the curriculum. Anyone here disagrees or anything? I have a different perspective. Is Angela still here?
Well,
Angela,
I have a question. What do
let's
y'all
go.
think about the University of Virginia's board voted against DEI in all aspects? What are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on that? That just happened, I believe, today.
University of Virginia board voted against. What do you mean by that?
Against all, so there will no longer be any DEI sectors in their college. So basically, the board was made of 17 voting members, and they basically voted to close its diversity, equity, and inclusion office. Basically, all aspects of DEI in the University of Virginia. That was basically just brought out today. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I see that. And, they're following other large universities right here in Columbus, the Ohio State University. We're very serious about our pronouns. It's the Ohio State University. Don't get it twisted. There's definitely a "the" in that name. However, they got rid of their DEI office last week, and the students are already raging about it. There's posts all over the OSU subreddit and all over town here about how they're capitulating in advance and that they should fight against this. I see here University of Virginia votes to end it, and they said DEI is done at the University of Virginia. And that was a statement directly from the the board. So
That's
that's
right. Right.
interesting.
That just happened today. Don't you believe that DEI is a form of discrimination? Jonathan, that's
I'm
to you,
laughing at
Jonathan.
you. I'm laughing at you. You,
I
you
know
poor
you
white.
always do,
You,
though, but that's
no, you
okay. I
poor
laugh
white
with you.
woman.
There you go with the white woman. There you
No,
go.
stop,
There you
stop,
go.
stop,
Pointing your
stop,
finger
stop.
at me. You don't even see me.
The
But
Angela,
yeah,
stop. Angela. The reason I say that
go ahead. Go ahead.
is that DEI, believe it or not, DEI helped you more than it helped me. Okay, that's
You
what I'm
might be.
laughing at you.
You might be. You might be right. You might be
No,
right in saying that.
I
But
might
don't you
be. No,
believe?
no. The biggest
Don't you believe it
benefactor.
should be merit based, and how
It
hard
is
you work?
merit based.
Okay.
DEI doesn't say it's not merit based. That you come on, you get Albar or Daphne line. Yeah, both things can be true at the same time. But no,
I love that line. I missed what you guys were talking about, but I love that line. Yeah.
okay. So when you talk about DEI has benefited white women more than any group of people out there. So
In what
you
way?
know,
In
huh?
what way? In what way?
In every freaking way,
Tell me
every
one.
way.
Tell me one. Tell me two ways.
I can tell you
Hiring,
because I've done a study
okay,
on it.
education.
Explain. Please elaborate, if you will. Please, Jonathan. In two
Terry,
ways, if you
Terry, do you
elaborate.
want to explain? Anybody else want to explain? Because I don't want to explain. Make it
I
Please
like
can
So
explain
too.
two
listen,
I've
ways.
done a
Two
study
no,
ways.
on it.
two
I want it to be
things.
more. I think it'd be more digestible coming from someone else other than
Okay,
Yeah,
me.
so
I
two
Because I'm a big
things.
angry black guy.
First of all,
Jonathan.
the underlying assumption, Angela, behind your question is that DEI means that the people who are hired are not meritorious, right? They're hired because of their skin color, their sex, their race, whatever, but they're not hired because they have skills and talents. That is a fallacy. That is untrue. What DEI says is we should broaden our hiring to make sure that we don't leave people behind. What it doesn't say is, and hire people who are stupid or not competent,
Where
etc.
does it say that, Tira?
It doesn't, it's not in the, there's no definition per se. You understand? It's
Exactly.
not like there's a definition
Exactly.
at the
So when I
federal
hear you
level.
speak
But what
about
I'm
what
saying
DEI
is it
means,
has been, stop,
you
just
don't know
TC,
what
stop.
DEI means because there
I
is
do
no
actually.
definitive DEI
There is no
policy.
definitive DEI, but people assume, like Angela, and I guess
You
like
know what
No,
you,
no,
happens
no,
when
no,
people
no. I'm
assume,
not
right?
assuming.
people assume.
Not assuming
TC,
anything.
can I
Not
finish,
assuming.
TC? Can someone tell TC to shut up while I'm
I
talking?
know,
Thank
I
you.
know.
You shut
Okay,
up while
shut
she's
up,
talking.
TC.
Thank you.
So here's the
DC,
thank you,
shut
Daphne.
up.
No problem.
So here's the thing, that the assumption being made by people who hate DEI is that people who have no, credentials, et cetera, being hired uh, over and above these incredibly qualified white men, because those are the only people who are not benefiting from DEI. Now, this, as we all know, incredibly mediocre white men who have roles and who get jobs because their fathers know people or they get in whatever, it's really a stupid assumption. There probably are some places which have quotas, which I don't agree with, in terms of saying we have a certain percentage of X, Y, and Z. I don't think that's the right way to go. But I think the idea of opening up the hiring process, for example, if you're trying to hire and you don't go to HBCUs, you should be going there, right? And that's what a lot of organizations did. They basically opened up their hiring processes and things like that to encompass schools that are traditionally more black, et cetera. And that's a good thing because you're missing out on some incredibly talented people if you don't do that. So I think part of the problem here is the underlying assumption always is that it means we're hiring people who are not worth hiring, but that's not true. Now, if you're telling me that that is true in certain cases, I don't agree with that. I would not agree with that, but I don't think we have shown that that is true.
So Tirah, here's my
Nobody
question
knows
to you.
what
Hold on, TC.
DEI
Hold
is.
on,
One mic,
TC.
one mic
Add
on into it.
something
One mic
to
on
Hold
into
that.
on,
it, guys.
TC. If you let me. So Jonathan basically said that it helps me as a white woman more than it helps anyone else. And I asked you for two reasons, and I didn't hear not one.
And
Not
I'd like
one.
to
Uh,
respond.
It, so so
Okay.
so if you can give me the two reasons as to how it helps me as a
Okay.
white woman as far as DEI, I'd appreciate that.
Okay,
And
so
then I
there
have
are
something else
several,
to follow that up.
there are many federal programs that actually say that
I
a
was just saying.
female-owned business will be given priority, for example, over certain other businesses. There are scholarships that go just for women, et cetera, things like that.
Okay.
And what
Here's
if
the thing.
what
What?
if
One
no,
second,
sorry.
Angela. 1 second. Let me
Jonathan,
just.
Jonathan, you were not, couldn't defend what you said, so I think we should pass it to TC to see what
No,
he has to say.
this is
Because,
not it.
well, she didn't come up with
Oh
any
my
reasons.
God, the privilege, the privilege.
No, it
Listen
has
to me.
nothing.
No. This is a show that I'm curating. Okay, with Daphne Christine.
This is a show that you're destroying,
So
John. This
You
is
know,
a
and
show
only
that
one
was
white
great.
okay.
woman is going to
One
say
second,
that.
TC. All right. So with that being said, where's that at, guys? Boom. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Um. Here's the thing, guys. So with that being said, so anyway, let me go first and foremost here. As a white woman, okay, white women, the statistics are clear. All right, they're clear. You receive more benefit from DEI than anyone. That's not even debatable, disputable. That's right there. You can look it up. All right, because and the only thing in DEI, and so people are forced. You said are forced to hire inadequate people. That's not true. People are just encouraged to look at people that they sometimes would not have looked at. All right, and that's what it is. Now, women, DEI is about it handles gender and women in general have been looked over. Okay, so white women. Okay, that's why white women have benefited. They've gotten hires, they've gotten contracts at a higher rate than any other group of people as a result of DEI. Okay, I'm gonna let you know a little secret as well. The same thing happened with affirmative action. Okay, when you guys killed affirmative action, you guys were the biggest beneficiary of affirmative action. Okay, but what happens is white men tell you guys, oh, da, 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 and you guys believe that, oh, this is horrible, this is bad. Look what they're doing. It's helping the blacks, it's helping the Hispanics, it's doing this, it's doing that. And you guys, you listen. You don't look no further. You're like, oh my God, this is awful. Yeah, they're forcing them to be included. But what they didn't tell you is, hey, you guys, it's helping you guys. All right. The Secret Service woman that got fired at the Trump got shot, they fired her because, oh, she's a DEI hire. That's what they said. Okay, Amy Coleman Barrett just voted, went against Trump. Guess what they call her? A DEI hire. They fired two people from the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Guess what? One was a black. He was a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Historical hire, very qualified, 4-star general. They replaced him with a white 3-star general that didn't meet the qualifications that they had to do a special waiver for. Okay. Oh, and by the way, the other person, a white woman. Okay. The general, okay, that he kicked out of that house was a white woman. Okay. That pilot that was fired, and they call her DEI hire. That pilot that was flying the helicopter had an accident. Guess what? She DEI. White women, you guys are being called DEIs left and right, and you're doing it as well, and you don't even realize you're doing it. Okay, and you're even acknowledging that you guys are benefiting from DEI while you guys are calling Amy Colbert Barrett, okay, the woman from the Joint Chiefs of Staff, okay, the general that was fired. All these women that are being fired, okay, fired, white women are being called DEI. And if they don't agree with them, Amy Colbert Barrett was a hero until she voted against Trump earlier this week on something, and now she's a DEI. So you gotta start listening to the language and the rhetoric. So the DEI, we actually black people, they're the face of it. Okay, they demonize it. Okay, but they demonize it that way. That way, you go to sleep like this right here, while they go back and they take all the privileges back for themselves. The only person that can complain about a DEI that really is white men. That's the only person that can complain about DEI. White men. Okay, everyone else benefits from DEI. Okay, and you know what? There you go.
Uh,
Angela, the mic's
actually,
yours.
Amy
Actually,
Coney
there are
Barrett
people
was
who
never considered a DEI hire. The reason why I, and you continue to say you and refer to me, and I accept it from you, Jonathan, because I adore you as a white woman, and to me it is irrelevant, right? When I want people up in the airplanes flying a plane, when I want someone putting together a company, when I want someone running a company, when I want someone doing something or keeping me safe or etc., I don't care what color, race, or creed they are. I don't care what they believe in. I don't care if they celebrate Easter or Hanukkah. I don't care if they're from the Boogie Down Bronx, where I am from, or from Beverly Hills. I could give a shit less. I care that they have the ability and the merit based upon which they are hired to do the job they are hired to do. Period, point blank, end of story. And I think if they are hired based on any other reason, that is discrimination. And it is discrimination against women like me with big boobs, because I get hired no matter what. Or black men or women, or Hispanic men or women, or Asian men or women. I don't give a damn what you are. It's got to be merit based. And if we are teaching our kids in our colleges anything, it must be, especially in this generation when things are so goddamn hard for these kids and we're giving them all of this damn debt. We have to teach our kids that it's got to be based on merit. And if we as adults and as parents are not seeing that, we're fucked up and we're screwing up our kids. Period, point blank. I yield. Thank you very much.
Can I
Okay.
Hey,
just say?
Jonathan,
Can
this
I
is
just say
Rachelle. I
one
have a
Okay,
thing?
question for.
Rachelle.
Wait, I
Before
just want to
I
say
want Tirah to go first, and then I want
one
Rachelle to go.
thing. The idea behind your entire discussion is that America is a meritocracy, but it's not. Everyone knows that, okay? Any person of sense would know that people with wealth and influence do much better in the world, that people who know people do better. It's all, nepotism is wild all over the place. People who have disabilities do worse in general. People who are of lower economic standard, upbringing generally do worse. Not that there aren't exceptions. Of course there are exceptions, but everyone knows that it is much harder for certain people to do better. So your entire thing is resting upon, I've got to teach my kids it's a meritocracy. No, it's
I call
actually
bullshit.
not. And what
That's
we're
bullshit.
trying to do is make it closer to a meritocracy by opening the doors up to people who don't have that advantage that you apparently have.
I
Thank you.
don't have any advantage over anyone else,
Yes, you
Tira.
do. You
What
got
makes
big boobs. You just said it.
no? What makes you
I
say?
guess
Hold on a minute.
Hooters, if you
So,
wanted to work for Hooters,
no,
you
no,
would.
no,
Wait,
no.
let me
So come on.
come in after
Ah,
Rochelle,
so
Jonathan.
Tira, hold on, Tira. So you're discriminating against the fact that just because I'm white, I have a more of advantage than someone else. Are you
Of
discriminating and,
course
and
you
being
do. The fact that you
tell
don't
me
know that
how?
is what's
The
extraordinary to
enlightenment
me.
here
Yes,
tonight is
The
Where's
just
Big
fact that you do
Boobs?
not know that is amazing, Angela.
yeah. Enlighten me as to how.
I will
Your
enlighten
skin,
you
your
as to
skin is
how.
Rachelle,
white.
you want to
Oh,
go
my
so
first? Then I
skin,
proceed,
my
can.
debate
skin, my
news.
skin, my skin. I got it
We're
now it
running.
Exactly.
explains
You
it all.
you you
So
were born white.
the answer is very statistics.
I should just be
Yo,
hired to fly a
yo.
plane just because I'm white, right? Wait,
Uh,
so I should be
Hey,
hired to fly a plane because I'm white?
Angela. That burden of that white skin, I know it's heavy.
No, and
You're
no
gonna
one is
hire me to
saying you
fly
should.
a
In
plane because
fact,
I'm
you're
white?
the last person I would want to hire flying my plane, quite
You
frankly.
better damn
But
well be you're
what
a
I'm
hundred
just
percent.
saying is your underlying assumption is that this is it's not a merit based system, and that DEI is basically hiring unqualified people. Why do you think that?
That's
Why do you
right.
think that?
That is exactly right. You hit the nail on the head, Tira. Now we're on the same page. Thank the good Lord.
Oh, you think that. I don't think that, but you think that.
The
Why do you
world
think
thinks
that?
that. You don't
Why are
think
you
that.
assuming that? Why are you assuming that? Why are you assuming that the white
Dumbass.
helicopter pilot who's a woman is worse than the white helicopter pilot who's a man? Why is that your assumption?
You know that wasn't the assumption. The assumption
Of
is
course, it's
basically
your
based
assumption.
on
That's behind everything you've been
the
saying.
assumption basically is this. If someone else is standing in front of someone else, Diversity, equity, inclusion would mean that someone should be based on their race, creed, or color as opposed to their merit. We should be based on our qualifications. Do you not believe that?
But
That's
that
not the
is you don't
definition
understand
of
that that's your
DEI.
assumption
Sure
that
it
it
is.
means that.
Do you
I'm
not
sorry, Chair.
believe do you not believe that we
Rachelle
should be
Johnson.
hired
Rachelle.
based on our qualifications? Do you believe we should be hired based on our qualifications, Tira?
You are
Here's the
so
thing.
entitled,
I
Angela.
It's a
reject your
simple
assumption.
question, but you
I
can't answer it, so
reject
I
You
yield.
are
Angela.
so entitled.
I reject your assumption, and your assumption is that somehow, if you're hiring people, that they're not meritorious. Where, and I've asked you 3 times, why are you making that assumption? Why is that the assumption behind everything you're saying here? I would like other people to weigh in because I don't want to have this just between me and Angela. But what I'm
Exactly.
saying is,
I'll weigh
your
in.
assumption is wrong.
I'll
No,
weigh
it's
Now,
in.
not an assumption. I'm
it
asking you a
is. No, it's an
question.
assumption. I want the best people hired for the particular job in question, but I make no assumptions about whether someone who's a white male is going to be better automatically than somebody else. You're the one making the
Perfect.
assumptions
You
that the
just
other people are not.
you just basically explained the argument. So you believe someone should be hired based on their merit and qualifications as opposed to race, color, creed, correct?
You're
I think the
so
best
entitled,
person should be
Angela.
hired, but what I also think
Oh
is
my
sometimes
god.
the best person has different qualifications than what you might think are good
What
qualifications.
do you
So, for
mean
example,
I'm not hiring them.
you're Angela. I know you're not hiring anyone. Clearly, you've never. Well, I don't know that
Oh
you have
my
or
god,
not.
clearly what, Tira? To disagree
But
Angela,
with
I
who
you?
think
get
you
her
are
hired?
bigoted. I'm just going to say
She
it
already
out
said
there.
the
I think
truth.
you have an
Thank you.
underlying
Okay. You
bigotry that
can
is really awful. And I
That's
you
think,
right,
can say that.
bigotry.
You can
She's
well,
a
say
I
that.
did
bigot.
But
say it.
as long as we believe, you and I both believe, that whoever is being hired to fly our planes or control whatever portions of the government or any companies, it shouldn't be based on an exception to the rule, but it should be based on the rule of being qualified and merit based. As long as you and I agree on the same thing. Am I right on that?
No, you're because
Okay.
you're
Okay.
misstating my argument. My argument is
Okay. So we
that
can't ask you a question.
if you do not reach out to everyone, you will never know who is the most qualified, and positions have different qualifications. For example, if I'm in a certain situation, there might be someone who's a better fit for the situation, depending on a variety of factors that I can't even begin to describe right now, right? Is it better to have a black policeman patrolling a black neighborhood? Maybe somebody else should weigh in on that because I am not black and can't say that. But, does anyone else have a view on that? My
It sounds
assumption would be
very
it might be
racist.
better.
So if you apply for the job and you have the qualifications for the job, you may not get hired because you're not associated with the right neighborhood. I don't understand what you're saying.
So, Angela,
You
let me
apply
step in
for a
for a
job.
second. Let me step in for a second, Angela.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you a question. Okay. If people are qualified to do the same job, and every time only one demographic is getting the job when they're qualified, and then you institute something that covers the entire other end of the spectrum, whether it be woman, disabled, veteran, immigrant, whatever you want to call it, so that they can then have a seat at the table to which they're qualified for. Why do you see there being a problem with that?
What if you made it a blanket? It didn't matter who you were, what you looked like, what
Mm-hmm.
race you were, but
Mm-hmm.
whomever is the best qualified person for the job, that would be the one who would be hired.
So
What
so
about that?
that's utopia. That's what we would love
Right.
to be the case. But are
That is
you
what I'm
saying
talking
are no,
about.
no, no? Are you saying that that is the case, or have you seen systemically that that has not been the case?
It's
That the
definitively not the case and has not been
Okay,
the
there you
case,
have it.
but
There you
that is
have it.
what no, 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 not there
There,
you have it. That
yeah.
is what we're talking about.
No, you
By
talked
taking
about a
away,
utopic idea of what it should be and how it should be,
we're
and
talking
you just acknowledge that that is not systemically what it has been. So if it's if
it's not a
so
matter of
if
systemic.
it's not
It's
what
not a
they've
matter of
been doing,
systemic.
if it's not what has been done, okay, whereas what you believe it should be, then why is there an issue with putting a mechanism in place to make it more utopic, which
Because
is what you believe it should be?
putting a mechanism in place that
Hmm.
assures that it goes the other way as
It doesn't
opposed
assure
to
anything.
hold
But
on,
go ahead.
as opposed to
Only with
being
privileged
as
people. Only
opposed
those
to
who are
the
entitled and
entire
privileged.
group the entire group being
No,
based, entire, all of us. I'm a woman, right? I'm a minority. So all of us being put in the same pool and deciding upon merit and qualifications to do the right job. That is
Everyone's
the way
not
it
in the
should be.
pool,
And
Angela.
that's where we're trying to get
You just
to. You
acknowledged that that
understand?
has not been the case. And so we're
It
trying to get
hasn't been.
there.
We've had a
Yet
Okay.
president.
DEI,
Okay.
You're
DEI
Okay.
right.
All
wasn't
right,
It
guys.
mentioned.
hasn't been.
One mic.
It
One mic.
hasn't
One.
been, but we hope to
One,
get
one
there
mic.
now.
One mic. One mic. One mic. One mic. One mic. Yeah. Let's give it a little break, guys. Hey, guys. Welcome to Debate the News. Jerry Malcolm, how you feeling, bro? Yeah, I see you when you got some wine. I saw you when you got a bottle of wine, man. Man, oh man. First of all, what do you think of Angela?
You're on mute, Joe. You're on mute.
Yeah, I mute Jerry. Jerry, yep. All right, so while Jerry's getting off mute there
Well,
you go,
you said,
Jerry.
what do I think of Angela? Well, first of all, you said something about my wine. I said, with Angela here, I need some wine with Angela here. Then you asked me another question. Your question was, Jerry, what do you think of Angela? And
Yes.
my answer was, I love Angela. You know why? Let me tell you why I love her. I may not agree with everything she's saying, but I respect how she's standing 10 toes down against everybody. That's why I love a woman.
Absolutely. Angela's coming in with that bullshit. But she has some big boobs though, Jerry.
Stop it, Jonathan.
Full disclosure, I don't like boobs. I like booty.
That's it.
Yes.
She's
But
only
We know
agreeing
that.
no,
and
Jerry,
disagreeing.
she's asking for a meritocracy, but she says she gets hired because of her big boobs. And I don't
I
have big
didn't
boobs.
say that. I didn't say. I didn't
yes,
say
you
that
did.
Yes,
either.
you
No,
did. You
no,
said
I
you didn't
I
have
didn't,
to say
heard
that.
that.
Shauna.
I
No, I
did hear
didn't,
that.
Oh, and
Shauna.
we have it recorded, so
No, I
we
did.
will
You.
play it back.
I didn't. I didn't say I get hired for that, Shauna. I didn't say that, Shauna.
Oh,
Well,
yes,
you
you
did
did,
No,
mention
I
you
it.
didn't.
little
I said it would.
chipmunk
I said it
liar.
would be. It would be
Let me
easy.
look at her boobs. Where's she at?
It
Where's
would
she
be
at?
easier for me.
Angel, get up here on camera.
Get on camera so we can see those
No,
boobs.
no, it's okay. It would be easier for me, but I don't take the easy way out. Obviously, as you can see that.
That's not what I said.
Angela,
Just
but you're a good
Oh,
sport. We appreciate you for that.
Thanks, Daphne. I love you, girl. I swear
Love
I
you
do.
right
oh my
back.
gosh. All right.
Dang, what
So
about me? I
Angie.
gave you love too. She was like, "F
I
Jerry." I
love
gave
you,
her.
Jerry, too. You
Jerry, you're
know that
smooth with
from
the
day one.
ladies.
OG, I love you.
Thank you.
Man, oh man. So look, guys, we just wanted to take a little break. Hey, if you're not following the podcast, make sure you guys go up, download Jerry, tell them, download some episodes, man. You guys
I
got
keep,
down some.
you know what, John? I'm trying to tell them they got to go back to 2022, early 23. They're going to trip out when they hear the stuff that we were talking about and how we were talking about it. They're going to see a different side of Jonathan. They're going to see a different side of Grant, and they definitely going to see a different side of me because, hey guys, I didn't have the handcuffs on back then. That's an inside joke. But look, so go listen to some of those early episodes. Y'all are going to absolutely love them, and leave some comments. It helps with the algorithms. Yes, Mr. Bing. Hey, I like this conversation today, Jonathan. I really do. It's like it's just a little different. It's a little
Jerry,
different, and I like it.
I like it too because she came in and I was gonna say stuck her chest out, but but after she said what she said, I think her chest sticks out all the time. But she came and stuck her
No pun
chest out.
intended.
She came in and stuck her chest out and said, like get rid of this DEI. And I'm listening to this DEI person say, get rid of this
He
DEI.
said this DE. He said I'm listening to this DEI person. Let's let that breathe for a second. Angela, what do you think about Angela? What do you think about the fact that you're a DEI person and you're saying this
This is
about DEI?
stereotyping. I'm not a DEI person. I look. I'm a single
She's a
mother
white woman,
raising.
so she's white. She's not
Stop,
DEI.
stop, stop with the stereotypical. She's a white woman. I'm a single mother. I work my damn ass off. You know, I have real estate, Jonathan. I sent you. I send you people. You know,
Yeah,
I
you
care
did.
for
You
you
did.
too.
Of course, we do
I
business.
do. I do. I have. I'm raising two daughters, and the thoughts go through my minds, and I have to stand up for what I believe in. I believe in working hard. I believe in doing. I just believe in doing the thing. I believe in doing the thing. I'm born and raised in Bronx, New York, right next to Divine.
I got a question for you, Angela.
I believe in doing the thing.
Do you think there's some other people that believe in working hard too, and sometimes they may not necessarily get the same opportunity?
Yep, agreed. I
Not the
agree with
DEI
you.
people.
I agree 100% with you on that. I do. I absolutely do.
Jerry, she doesn't understand that white women benefited more, and I try to tell her that. She's still thinking like, no, no, no.
I think she does. She just did.
No,
Well,
she doesn't. She doesn't think white women are DEI.
Angela.
Angela, you recognize that, correct?
Listen, we are part of a minority, right? We're women, so women are a minority,
Black
and
women and white women, or just like
Black women, black women, and Asian women.
women, women is a group of minority. I look, I appreciate all of our minorities. I do. I do. I
Okay.
appreciate it. But we are part of a minority. I mean, we weren't able to vote when white men were also. So we were part of that
Oh,
minority
are you
group. So
are you
That
serious? You
was
couldn't
years
vote?
ago.
Oh.
yeah. I'm not sorry for myself in
No,
any
I'm
way,
just
shape, or
saying,
form.
Jonathan, just imagine that. The white women couldn't vote.
Women, not
And
what I
500
didn't say
years
white. I
ago.
said women.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Shauna's
sorry.
kind of
Well,
jumping here too,
wait,
guys.
definitely not.
so yeah.
Look at
Look,
John. There
white
he go.
women.
There he
Yeah,
go. Trying to get
no,
me.
no, no, no. White women. Listen to me. You guys are a minority, Angela.
He's
Okay,
so
you
funny.
guys are the biggest. I'm sorry, the biggest benefactor of DEI. Man, I wish. I mean, since I mean, you guys, it's sort of like welfare. More, you guys. It's when you want to demonize it, you put a face on it that you can demonize it with. Okay, but you guys are taking all the benefit and all the credit from DEI. Okay, you guys, we benefited less, than anyone. Okay, black men, handicaps, white men has benefited from DEI if they're gay, if they're veterans, and things of that nature. DEI is open to everyone. The people that benefit from DEI more so than anyone, okay, is white women. They're the biggest benefactor by far. So I just want to put that out there. And you guys were the biggest benefactor of affirmative action, but you guys killed that. You didn't know anything about that. So, when you guys are getting contracts or you guys are getting jobs, and they don't tell DEI people, okay, that they're DEI. They tell people, congratulations, you got the job. That's what they tell people. You got the job.
Mm.
Exactly. And Jonathan, this is Nurshare. I just wanted to chime in and say that
Hey,
in the
Nurse.
United States, hi, in the United States of America, women in general are not minorities. They make up about half of the population.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Okay,
they're
so
considered disadvantaged, and they're considered disadvantaged, and they are a part of the DEI, and
I
that's why
agree,
they.
but she made the statement that women are minorities, and that's not
but
the
they
case.
are. They always have been. They always will be. And to that end, so you would expect
Okay.
that if I come in to get hired, you would want to hire this white woman to fly your plane as opposed to someone who actually is merit based and has the qualifications to do so. And if you believe that, I don't. As a white woman, I renege whatever status that you're putting me on. I believe that those who are hired to do a job should be by qualification and merit. To me, it's that simple. It just is. To me, anything other than that is discrimination and borderline racism. So that's how I feel, and I
I
end
feel
there.
I feel like you keep balancing the fence though. Like
And
like 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 Rochelle just literally laid a foundation of why DEI would include everybody. And you agreed before she broke that down that systematic wise people take control of those circumstances. So I don't know how you stand 10 toes down, but you literally agreed to what Rochelle said, but you tried to not to agree to her words at the same time. So
I've
you're
said
like
time and
balancing.
time again, I've said time and time again, and I probably have said it 3, 4 times, and I'll say it again, that those who are hired should be based on qualifications and merit and not on race, creed, or color. I've said it over and over again. I can't say it any
She
other way.
sure
I can't say
Angela,
it in
did.
a
Angela,
different
I'm gonna
But
jump in
language.
here. I'm gonna jump
That's
in here.
all I can say.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
her
jump in.
saying that
This
and using
Laura.
that for her basis proves that she doesn't understand the definition of
Yeah,
DEI, though. That's what
exactly.
she's missing.
Can I say something
And
before I
here,
go to
let me give
bed,
you some
please?
What is the
statistics.
definition?
Oh,
This is
no,
not
no,
just
Google
stop
it.
asking
wait.
stupid
Can you hear me?
questions.
I
Can
Go
you
will.
hear
ahead,
me,
Laura.
Jonathan?
One, one mic, one mic
I
on
can't.
Laura.
Yeah, this is not just about getting in the door. Okay, we need to open up the door, but once you get in the door, you also have to get paid at parity. The fact is on the exact same positions, white women make 78% of white men, and black women make 65% of white men. It isn't, so it's way more than just getting in the door. So yes, do we all want the best person for the job? Yes, that's true. But the facts are the facts. It's also the facts that it just makes fucking sense, because companies with diversity around the table outperform undiverse teams. Why? Because we're not selling products to only white men. So I don't agree with you, Angela. I respect you. I like the way that you're communicating, but I don't agree with you. You're talking out two sides of your mouth. The fact is this country has not been fair with respect to opening up the freaking door. And I'm talking from somebody that knows this, because I started in Wall Street when there were very few women. I didn't even think about the fact that I was a woman. I just got shit done, and I got paid higher than any other man other than the CEO of every company I ever worked with. But I didn't, I just, I had the opportunity to do that. I negotiated well, and I didn't think about it. So I never had a gender issue. I was I was very fortunate in that respect. I have to be quiet because I've got a grandson in the other room.
Thank you for that, Laura. Appreciate you. So
Yes,
once
I
again,
wanted to hop in if I may.
Can I
go
weigh
ahead.
in?
Go
Can I weigh
ahead,
in?
Jack. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Jonathan?
so it's not she just keeps talking about race, creed, and something now, gender. But veteran status is also included in DEI, just so you know. So typically what would have happened, you talk about systemic issues, is if I'm a Vietnam veteran, I would come home and I would not be able to get a job. You know why? Because there's a stigma on veterans that we're crazy. We got PTSD. Back then it was called shell shock. Okay. There were so many things, so many stigmas that were said about veterans that veterans could not get jobs. So, what the federal government did is it incentivized not only the federal government, but also businesses, right, through taxes and through the VRA and different acts to incentivize them to hire veterans because people didn't have the tendency or the propensity to hire a veteran, even though we were more than qualified. Oh, sorry, volume. Okay. But even though we were more than qualified to do the job. And so whenever we make DEI only about race or only about gender, we are leaving out people that are disabled, which also tends to be your veterans. Me as a service connected disabled veteran, as a Black person and a woman. So understand that I am more than qualified to do any of these jobs, right? I was in military intelligence, for God's sake. But imagine doing all of that in the military and then coming home and being an assistant, being an admin assistant. Meanwhile, I'm flying drones. You get what I'm saying? And so in order for a lot of veterans or disabled people who, if you mark disabled, sometimes job employers won't even hire you because they want to figure out, okay, what type of disability does she have? She's a veteran. Is she disabled? Is she missing a limb, or is she crazy? So like we can't act like DEI is not that ladder or that stepping stone to allow for others to have the same qualifications, I'm sorry, or to get jobs and positions where they wouldn't normally have access to because of those disabilities, because of their color, because of their gender, and all of that. So I'll leave it there. Thanks.
And I was about to, I was about to throw. I was,
Hang on, Jerry.
Can I
Just a
weigh
second.
in,
No,
Jonathan?
just a second. Chat, before you go on, I just want to
Is
I
anybody
wanted to ask you something,
home?
and I lose my train of thought really quickly. So if you can hear me, I wanted to ask Chat, um, with the because I hear what you're saying, and my question was then, with the oh, okay. So what you were saying, like when people come and they want to, they see the disability. That's where I was going with that. The disability, perhaps, of a veteran
Mhm.
on an application. Does that fall under DEI or the Discrimination Act or both?
So
And I'm
it would
asking you
be a
because I feel like
protected
you're an expert.
class.
What
I'm
was that?
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said I'm asking you because I feel like you're an expert in this. So I want to know: does it fall under each or both? Like one or the other or both?
Yeah, it would be, but it would also depend on if it's the federal government or public or private. But typically, disability is also a protected class. It's considered a protected class.
Hey,
Did
Jonathan,
that
can I
answer your
say
question,
something,
huh?
please?
All
Hey,
that is
guys, this
whisper.
is
Yeah, there's something weird going on. And I don't know what, I'm sorry if I talked over Jerry. I don't know where he went. What happened to
Hey
Jerry
guys,
John?
hey guys, this is real over here on Clubhouse.
I
We have
went
a
to go
couple
get
of
something
people
to
that
drink.
would like to
That's
speak.
somebody from Clubhouse.
Okay, go ahead, Real. I'm sorry. We didn't have I couldn't see the bubble
Hey,
talking.
Rio,
Go
thank
ahead,
you.
love.
It's
Hey,
okay. I have Tony over here that's been trying to speak for about 10 minutes, and then I have Dr. Hope. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to try to tackle the issue from a utilitarian perspective instead of ideological. The primary purpose of having a diverse set of individuals in any set of groups is uh, because it provides a diverse set of opinions to any set of problems that that group is solving. And there are multiple anecdotal examples that I have, but foremost, there are studies which, on the basis of statistics, prove that the groups on which have diverse set of individuals, whether it be based on creed, caste, color, whatever it is, they have more chances of success in solving a set of problems. An anecdotal problem can be, uh, I am pretty sure you guys have heard of Bose headphones. So this Bose guy was from India, Kolkata, and from his experiences during childhood dealing with gramophones, he came up with a uh, technique in acoustics that nobody in United States would have even thought of, because gramophones had gone out of flavor in the 1990s when this guy was in MIT. uh, Similarly, there are various examples. So this is not the primary purpose of DEI is not for the benefit of the individuals, it is for the benefit of the group itself. uh, the second point is, from the mitigation
Oh,
perspective,
there's another one.
uh, from
Go
from the
ahead.
mitigation perspective, oh my god, from the mitigation perspective, I have heard the word merit thrown around a lot. Merit is supposed to be an idea where all the individuals are playing on a level playing field and then competing for success. Who's pissing?
Go
So
ahead. Go ahead,
Oh,
brother.
dear.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Go ahead, brother. That was
Oh
Jerry.
my God, Jerry.
That was an accident, my brother. Hey, let
No,
one
it's
mic on
fine.
this guy speaking. Go ahead, brother.
Totally,
Go ahead, sir.
it's okay. Well, I don't mind
You
being.
were talking about the merits, sir. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
I'm so
uh, the,
sorry.
the merit, but this notion that all the individuals are playing on a level playing field is false in itself. It depends on your zip code, on the amount of your money your parents have, on the amount of resources that they can provide to their children, whether your child goes to a private school, whether your child can afford extra tuitions other than the school itself. Their majority of population in United States cannot afford that, whereas the top 0.1% of the population can afford all these things available. Whether your child has personal transportation while going from school to tuitions to extracurricular classes or not, that saves up time, that saves up time to give the child more time to do homework. Whether you have access to technical resources in the form of online courses, which can enable to you to have uh, access to wider set of information. So it doesn't matter how smart a child from a public school is. If he or she, if the
Right,
child does not even have access to an equal amount of
right.
information, he can't the
Great
child
point. Hey,
cannot
hey, what's your
compete
name again, though, brother? What's your name?
My name is Tony.
Tony, why don't you hop over here to the other side so we can, see you? Because I would love you to be part of the show just in general over here. So hop over
I
to the other
would.
side and thank.
What should I do?
There you go,
What
Tony.
should
How
you
I
do
put
do,
I
I
hop
put it. I
over
put
there?
an
Mister?
invite in the
You should
chat for you.
download the
So
Chatter
click.
social app on and
Go to the
No,
dark
it's a
side.
different
Yeah,
application
I
altogether.
My
put an
Jonathan,
invite.
you're on mute.
Jonathan, it works better if you unmute your mic, brother.
Real's gonna take care of you. Real's gonna take care
Yeah,
of you.
I
Yeah,
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 got you,
Real,
sure,
take
sure.
Tony.
care of
Just
you.
Yeah, and then we had Dr.
just
Hope
Gonna
look
over
in
there.
the
take
And then
me
chat,
Dr. Hope,
Real,
Tony. I
quick, and
got
then
Yeah,
we
you.
had
I've
go.
been working
Yeah, we're good.
really hard for the past
it's
few
gonna
days.
take
I
me a
wanted
little
to
bit more
comment
time to
on
download
this
the.
topic.
Oh my goodness.
I please,
It's gonna
I
okay,
take
grew up.
me
real
a.
quick, Dr. Hope, or I'm going to get
Yeah.
Can I
fired.
complete the point that I
Well,
was
Okay,
making?
hold on just
yeah,
one
you
second,
take
please.
too
We've
long,
got
honey.
Tony talking, Dr. Hope talking at the same
Damn, let's
time.
cut them off.
Well,
Okay, hold on
For
just
real,
one
that's what I'm
second.
saying, bro. For real.
Tony,
facts
I've
taken
Tony,
got
can
you.
you
little
go over
Tony,
to
Tony,
Chatham,
listen,
more
you've
please?
got to,
time
Dr. Hope, hold
than
on a second. Tony,
opinions.
you've got to mute up, please. I've got you in the chat. Okay, go
Thank
ahead,
you.
Dr.
All
Hope.
right.
Thank
So,
you.
I grew up in the top 1% of privilege, and and Angela, don't respond to me. You're clearly privileged. When Obama became his first executive order was the Lilly Leadbeater Act, which was equal pay among women. Those who are white privileged are the ones who are the most angry around DEI. They're the most angry.
Wait, who
And
am I
what
talking to? Who's talking
Oh,
right now?
let
listen,
her
I don't
land.
even
Well,
want
I
you to
got it. Just one
interrupt
second.
me,
I got it.
Angela.
Angela, one moment. Go ahead,
Okay.
Dr. Hope. Continue.
It's Dr. Hope
Continue.
Kelman, Dr. Kelman. And, I have had to fight a lot of men in my career, and there's very few men right now who can throw me off my beam and where I am. And that's because I've been involved in diversity, equity, and inclusion my entire 30 years in public policy. The fact that Angela's sitting in her little Tweety Bird reality, yakking at us, entitled, and
Man,
she
fuck all
said,
that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Shut your bitch
Hey, bro,
ass.
mute your mic,
Nigga,
brother. Mute your
Tony,
mic.
shut
back
up.
out. The ladies are speaking, sir.
I got it.
the
I got it.
fact
One
that
at a
she
time,
can
guys.
sit in
Mute your mic, bro. Bro, mute your mic.
the
Go ahead,
first
doctor.
60
I don't want to say it
seconds,
wrong.
the first 60 seconds she said she gets hired because of her boobs, that is exactly why there's affirmative action, to make sure that we were not put in positions of authority for sexual because of our sexuality. That's one thing that the affirmative action was able to take care of. The fact that Trump immediately attacked this reminds me of he gets an A for Adolf. That's what Adolf Hitler did. He immediately attacked these issues. These issues, as soon as the House and the Senate become blue, these issues are going to be the first that get turned back. I believe that Angela's using her entitlement, her white privilege, and her very insecure ego to try to say that she needs equal treatment. And I don't believe that she believes it. I believe that this has just been a con job on the American people, and that the civil rights movement is getting kicked in the teeth around this. And I am land my plane. I got to go to bed. I've been working really hard for 3 days. Thank you.
You know
Before
what?
you
Thank
go
you.
to bed, before you go to bed, Dr. Hope, you still wearing a mask? Because I
Thank.
looked you
No,
up
you lying.
online. Hold on, because I looked you up online, and how you have the audacity to accuse me of the things that you accuse me of.
Jonathan.
No, 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 no. I never said that I got hired because of my boobs. I said that I could if I
Yes, you
wanted
did.
to, but I don't. No, I didn't. I
Well,
could
she's
if I
not here
wanted to, but I
anymore,
don't.
so there's
Dr. Hope,
that.
are you still wearing
Replays
a
are
mask?
She's
on.
gone.
Dr. Hope, are you still wearing a mask?
She
Is that relevant to
she's
anything?
It
gone.
is.
She's
I asked her a
gone. Dr.
question.
Why
Hope
Can
is
don't
she
you
answer it?
gone.
explain why
Let
you
her
think
go.
that's
Let her go.
relevant?
Goodbye. Thank you. What she said was disgusting, and that's okay because I looked her up and she's crazy. So I'm done.
And you're not?
No, I'm not.
You
Do
got
you
everybody
think
I'm
I
excited.
am?
sorry,
You got
Angela,
So
everybody.
but for
do you
4
think I
years
am,
we've listened to
Shauna?
your bullshit. For four
Shauna,
years we've listened to your crazy
Shauna, do you think
bullshit.
I am?
We've listened
Shauna,
to you
you could
backtrack. We've listened to
go
you
ahead,
give
Shauna.
us all sorts of different things, and none
Mm-hmm.
of it is ever true. And at least none of
Mm-hmm.
us have bothered to look you up and
You
call
mean
you
not
names.
you?
We
You mean
just,
not you? You mean not you, right?
I don't look you up. I would care less to look you
So
up.
why don't you
I
mute
already know
out
you're
when I'm
crazy
talking to someone else? But you don't mute
because
out
you're
because you
rude and
can't.
you're doxing her.
Oh, because I responded to something that she said. You have a problem with that?
You asked her if she's wearing a mask when she
I
goes to sleep.
did. So
That's none of
why?
your
She could.
business.
Yes, Angela, my question to you is why would that be relevant to anything you might have to say to her? Why?
So, debate the news. Once again, in case some of you just came into the room, you guys don't know, there's a link up top and it says Debate the News Podcast and it says Apple Podcast. So, what that means is you can go to your favorite podcast, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, whatever it is, and you can actually download these episodes. And Mr. Bing and company would actually appreciate it if you do that. So, Angela, why don't you do us a favor, Miss Angela? Go download a couple episodes, okay? And then DM Mr. Bing. Angela, okay, I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor since we rock with each other. Can you do this for me, Angela? Since we rock with each other,
Um,
download a couple episodes and then
Not a
DM.
couple, 10, please.
I got this. I got this.
Okay.
Can you download a couple episodes and can you DM Mr. Bing and share with him which one was your favorite one that you downloaded? Can you do that, Angela? Make me look good, and I'll always rock with you. I appreciate that.
The
So
rules are
once
Jimmy,
there.
you
Same
always
thing in
look
the
good. Come
chatter app
on.
as well.
In fact, what she can do is do automatic downloads. So they automatically download each time a new episode is released.
there you have.
Angela, let me ask you a question, Angela. What about affirmative action? How do you feel about that being going? That needed to be needed to go away as well, right?
Jonathan, I'm not answering any more questions. I'm not answering any. I'm not going to answer any more of your setup questions, but I will do what Jerry has asked of me.
Oh,
I will. I will, because I
Mr.
realize the
Bing,
setup. I
Mr. Bing
realize
doesn't
this.
set people up. Come
I
on.
realize the setup when I see one. You know, we're from the. Listen, Jonathan, you and I are literally from the same school of rocks. You know that. And
Yes.
I will literally listen to Jerry's, and I will be back next time ready and prepped, because I will be back ready and prepped,
You're
and I'm not.
always ready and prep, guys.
I
Angela's
am,
from North
Jonathan.
Jersey.
You
Angela's from
know,
North Jersey.
yeah. At the end of the day, as much as you and I collide heads, and we do, I adore you nonetheless. So there's
Yes,
that. So
same,
yes, I'll
same,
listen.
same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's
Goddamn
hey,
banana.
she's smart. She's smart, brother. I got to give it to her. She's very smart. There was a guy that just jumped in. I think you were a guy. I don't want to. Okay.
Divine, was it?
Oh, I didn't. Don't divine. I didn't, bro.
All good. I'm just trying to bring us back home. So,
We already no. We're already home. We're already home. There's no bring back home.
no
We're home.
problem. Trying to talk to the topic. So, we seems we
Good.
have beef between Marco Rubio and Elon Musk, and it looks like Trump took Rubio's side. Musk accused Rubio of not firing anyone when he did prove to him that 1,000 employees did actually take the government buyout. So I think
1,500.
we have a meltdown going on in the White House. I knew it was a matter of time before Elon Musk was going to piss somebody off. They can't take it anymore. He's the shiny new toy in the White House. He was not elected by anyone, and I believe he only had 130 days. So his days are numbered. He needs to go and fly a jet or launch a rocket and get out of politics.
You really believe? You really believe that, bro? His days is numbered? Like seriously?
Yeah, someone told me he gets 130 days as an advisor to the president. I could be wrong. Someone who's more knowledgeable could chime in. But he needs to focus on his businesses. He needs to focus on and getting his hands off the buttons. This is not a joke. You know,
Why
if
do you
people
think
want to
somebody like
compare,
Grant likes him so much, Divine? Like, what is the reason? Why do you
because
think Grant?
I was just going to segue into that. They compare our government to a business. Governments are to protect the people, businesses are to make money. You cannot run the government like a business. And then you're going to have the wackos. Well, the U.S. is a business. No, we are a nation of individuals who deserve protections. And right now, I don't feel so protected. So I'll land with that.
That was a great share. That was a great share. I wasn't aware of that, Mr. Bing. Go ahead, Mr. Bing. I saw your face move. I saw your
No,
eyes
no, no.
twinkle.
Divine's correct. Marco Rubio, he's got fed up with Elon. Elon actually called Marco Rubio out and said, "Yo, you haven't fired anyone." And when Marco Rubio, it's 1,500 people that accepted the buyout. So, but Elon shot back at him. Guys, listen to me. When you have a civilian in the Oval Office or in the cabinet meeting, speaking to the cabinet heads as if he's their supervisor, that's a problem. And so, what's going on is Trump is now dealing with his cabinet pushing back on Doge because it's gotten ridiculous. They laughed at it at first. They thought it was fun. They thought it was cute. but they see what's really happening. They see that how these cuts are really affecting their ability to actually do the job. So and they're firing a lot of good people, and they have to rehire them, and then hey, can you show us how to do this, and try to figure out a way to fire them again. So the secretaries are getting tired of it, and so that's why Trump had to have that emergency meeting. He tried to fire some air traffic controllers. Elon did. And right now we don't have enough air traffic controllers. So with that being said, Rubio, Trump, Rubio said he's not firing anyone right now. And so they actually, because of that, Trump, I guess, issued an edict and said that, hey, you know what? You guys are the department heads. You guys make the determining factor who gets fired, who doesn't get fired. Elon can make a recommendation. So it's starting to crash around them because of all of this stuff. It doesn't work out. It wasn't thought out. It wasn't thought out. It was go ahead, let's do this, let's do that. They're getting fed up with it because they know that they're going to get the blame for it. Now, also, Tirah, are you here?
I'm here.
Let's go. Congress, they're starting to push back. These Republican congressmen are starting to push back because what they're trying to do is they're now trying to reestablish that they have the power of the purse. They essentially ceded that to Trump in the early days. And we're still in the early days of his presidency, but they ceded that to Trump. And Trump didn't stop, with one or two things. He kept going like, okay, this is mine. So you want to speak to that, Terry? I don't know if you spoke to that. I know Republican congressman, they held a press conference um, about Ukraine and all the other stuff that's going on and said this has got to stop. Putin is, and I want to talk about Putin as well, but they had that press conference as well. The
Well, I
Republic.
don't know. Okay, I think what's happening is some of them, I think somebody was Curtis from Utah said you need compassion, these are real people, things like that. And I think there has been some, pushback a little against the fact that Musk seems to be cutting, without understanding what the jobs are or what people do or what's needed. But I think essentially what they're doing is they're sort of going and they're trying to get him not to cut Republican funds, if that makes sense. So, for example, they were going to cut from NOYA and they were going to cut some offices in Oklahoma, and the Oklahoma senator just posted saying, "Oh, thank God, they're not going to make those cuts in Oklahoma." So I'm not so certain they. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but if they had hearings about this or anything? I
No, no,
think
no,
they're
no,
trying to.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
have hearings. They've spoken out
Right.
about.
I think they've been making some noises, but I also think their preferred method, because they're scared about really antagonizing him, is to go and sort of explain, hey, this would really hurt people who voted for Trump. Don't do this.
So on that note,
Can I just
here,
answer the thing? I just want to say one thing about what Divine said. The rule for a special government advisor, which Elon Musk is 130 days within one 365 day period. So if Elon Musk were to work through April or May or whenever the 130 days runs out, technically he could not work again as a special government employee until next January, let's say. But the thing is, what Musk will probably do, it only based on how many days you actually work. So he might say, I'm only working 5 days a month for the next couple of months. He might himself try and space it out. Thanks.
Go ahead, Shauna.
something that came up, Tira, that I'm not sure you heard about, but when those letters to, get your 30,000 resign early went out, many, many people at in the corrections department and the interpreters took it. And currently, right now, there are no interpreters in the federal courthouses, and there is nobody to transport the prisoners to the federal courthouses, and hearings are backed up like crazy. So that's another oops that they did, because now the courts, not only are they bogged down with all these lawsuits that people are bringing against Trump, they don't have anybody to protect the justices. And this is federal, not local. And they don't have anybody to bring the people from Club Fed to the courthouse for their hearings. and they don't have anybody to translate. So we've got a big problem on our hands because of Mr. Musk by sending out that little memo, take this $30,000, retire early, etc. Nobody realized that it was affecting the courts. And we had a meeting on that today because of what's happening here. Because they want the San Francisco Sheriff Department to step in. And they're like, fuck that. You don't pay us enough.
The other thing that happened was a
To
number of
be
the administrative law judges, the immigration judges, also resigned, and that's going
No,
to
they got
cause
fired.
they got even more of a backlog. Then, I mean, this is crazy stuff.
I got a
yeah.
question.
Well, Shauna, to be clear, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jerry.
I'm gonna pass it right back to you. Is there, if anyone else wants to jump in the conversation, feel free. The mic is wide open. If it's just a statement you want to say, whatever you want to say, just hop on the mic. Back to you, Skull.
Well, Shauna, to be clear, I don't know why we need translators anymore, my friend, because we made English the official national language of America via executive order. So, like, if you don't know what's happening in the court, that's a you problem, not like an us problem anymore. You know, you're going to speak English in this country.
That one. That one.
Scott, that is hysterical, but they still have a right to understand, and if their main language or their primary language is not English, then they have a right under the Constitution for an interpreter. But there are no interpreters. So I guess in that sense, Trump got what he wanted. And they're trying to hire all these people back, but they're like, they don't want to come back because they can make more money in the private sector. States will pay them a lot more money than the federal government did to be interpreters.
Yeah, and we're finally starting to see here. You know, I've said before, and my contention has been this, especially when I was getting attacked by all the right wingers on here, which I love your guys' attacks. I appreciate them. But I've said, hey, I am for cutting government graft and corruption and reducing government spending. I think these are all laudable goals, as long as we can still provide the service, like essential services of the government. And I also said there's a legal way to do this. And it appears finally stunning. And this is stunning to me because if you look at Congress, if you look at the House and the Senate, like 70% of these people have law degrees. So they should know this because they're all lawyers and they're making laws. And just today, finally, after 44 days, Lindsey Graham came out and said, well, we should consider passing an official rescission, which rescission would be a budgetary reduction, to make the Doge cuts legal, or else it will be against the Impoundment Control Act of 1974, which is what I've been saying for a month on Debate the News. And finally, we've got Lindsey Graham in the Senate saying that that's what they're going to need to do, right? Because that is the process, folks. There is a process for these kind of things. You don't just get to bring in some CEO and he gets to cut it down like Twitter. It's not a tech company. Go fast and break things is the motto of tech. It is not the motto of a government. I land.
Skald, you do know that next week the funding ends, right? And if they don't pass something by the 15th, where the government shuts down again.
Hey guys, once again, I need some more people to join this conversation. Once again, everybody. So
I'll go on.
Feel free to jump in. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, can I weigh in?
Yes, of course. You're already in, sir.
Yeah, I mean, can I speak?
You just
So,
spoke. You just spoke.
so other than the guy being a self-proclaimed Nazi, the government and the startups or a private company cannot be run in the same manner. You cannot expect go in and break things and find break things and see what works, because instead of a private corporation where it is going to affect the bottom line, here there are real human beings whose lives are getting affected. For example, the US aid has been completely gutted. uh, there was a program that was started by George Bush Jr. It was called PEPFAR. It was under the US aid, which
What's it called, Tony?
yeah, it's called
It's
PEPFAR.
called PEPFAR. He's about ready to talk about how we've prevented literally millions of children from getting HIV, which was started under George W. Bush. And this is what I was saying,
But you didn't let him land though, Skull. The
Oh,
man
I'm
was
Oh,
a
yes,
He
it's
was
totally
helping.
all
He was
right.
helping me understand. Thank you. I
He's doing
appreciate it.
good.
yeah, but let
He,
the dude land. I
oh no,
got
he's
it, but
doing good. He's
yeah,
he's
go ahead.
explaining
Just
good. It's okay. Go ahead,
go
man.
ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. And you're doing a great job as well. And and thank you so much for being so articulate with. I'm sure English is your second language, and you're doing a great job at it.
And
If
thank
I
you
can,
from
if I
coming
can
over from that
interject,
other app to here.
But
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Welcome
guys, one
to
mic, one mic,
Chatter.
one mic, one mic, one mic, one mic. Jerry said
uh,
one mic, and everyone's gone. It's like 8 people went. Let's go ahead, Tony.
yeah, so this program was intended towards the uh, victims of sexually transmitted diseases in African continent. So it was a multifaceted program. Contraceptives were distributed, and treatment was provided to the children who got the infection, to provide hospice care, because most of the children die before they turn 5 if they get infected with STDs. So even after George Bush Jr. implemented this program, the Christian evangelicals in United States protested distribution of contraceptives because it is against the will of the God to stop a child being born. But George Bush Jr. still resisted. He was an whatever he was, at least he was a relatively kind man. But here comes this orange buffoon with this South African apartheid Nazi ketamine addicted asshole person, and they completely gutted the USA. Now the all of the offices are closed, all of those hospitals and clinics are closed. And you know what's the most vitriolic thing? That
What, Tony? What? Share it
on the
with us.
yeah, on the window of those
Take your time.
clinics,
Take your time.
yeah, on the window of those clinics, it is written that we see you, you are not alone. And now those clinics are locked, and there are children, there are mothers with children in their hands who are infected with HIV, who depended on those medication uh, to literally live, and they are going to die because.
Hey, people in the chat are asking you to start over from the beginning, Tony.
No, 1 second. Hold on, Tony.
And
Tony,
similarly, like
one
USA,
mic. Tony,
yeah.
1 second, Tony. First of all, Tony, thank you for coming right over, man. I appreciate you for coming over from the other platform. Let's start there. Secondly, I always spoke about the George Bush program that he did, and that program where he saved all those African lives by providing the funding for the cocktail for HIV. So you're telling me that U.S. aid was responsible for handling distributing that, and USAID, because USAID is now gone, those programs no longer exist. Anyone can jump in on that. Is that what's going on? Anyone's called?
Yeah, that's what I was ranting about like 4 weeks ago when I said, "Oh, you guys are going to let children die." And let me finish connecting the dots for you here, because some people might not know this, and I'd love for Dr. Catherine or anyone else to jump in here, because my understanding is that if a woman is pregnant, right, even if she's HIV positive, there are certain retrovirals you can administer that will ensure that it will not be passed in utero across the placental barrier. And so that child will be born without AIDS, right? They will actually be HIV free. And so even if the mother has been infected, we can save the next generation from this hardship by administering what is actually pretty cheap drugs, to be honest with you. And we stop that. And in fact, the person in charge of USAID, this program, PEPFAR, said that every 2 weeks that it was shut down, they estimate that 300 children would be infected with AIDS
You
that
took
could have
us
been
you
prevented.
you definitely went in a whole different direction with that one.
So,
But it's
I mean,
okay.
yes, I mean that's what's happening, and this is why a federal judge has ordered that this money has to start being distributed again by Monday. Right, that order just came down, and the Supreme Court backed it, and Amy Coney Barrett was called a DEI judge all over Twitter for an entire day by the far right because she agreed that this money should be distributed, right? And so, I mean, this is the kind of thing that's going on here, and it's wild to me. It's wild.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I'll tell you this right here. George W. Bush, and believe it or not, guys, he's one of my favorite presidents. He is. Okay, I know he.
Agreed.
Yeah, he did a lot of crazy stuff with the economy. I mean, he tried to get everyone into a house, and the market crashed and all that other stuff. I mean, but his heart was in the right place. Okay, and so W, he that program. I always speak about that program because he saved millions of lives. Okay, and the church didn't want him to do it. The Republicans didn't want him to do it, and he did it anyway. And it spoke to who he was as a man. And to hear that Trump is trying to stop that program, it's heartbreaking, man. It really is. I feel like tearing up a little
It
bit. I'm
has
like, wow.
stopped. It has effectively stopped. And before you go far
Nope,
in
nope,
appreciating
it hasn't effectively stopped.
Shauna, let the
those
man talk.
those yeah, those clinics, they are closed. There are documentaries on YouTube. Anybody can look up those clinics which have VCU signs on their windows. They are closed.
Where are
HIV.
you? Tony, where are you at now? Where are you?
I'm in New York right now, and before you go ahead too far with appreciating George Bush, before he invaded Iraq, Oxfam and the World Bank and
I get that. I get that.
UNICEF, three different organizations came with estimates that anywhere from 500,000 to 1.2 million children will die because of starvation or lack of medication if the United States goes ahead and invades Iraq. And he went and invaded Iraq, which resulted in the death of 500,000 children in the next 5 years.
Yeah,
That is directly
I,
attributable to the US invasion of Iraq on a false promise of
I did say
WMD.
that it's some of his policies, okay, but the fact that what he did as a humanitarian and what he did around the world, I get it. They're not perfect. They're far from it. Um, Definitely would have a bear with the guy, and the guy, yeah, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I get it. But yeah, guys, anyone else wants to jump in here? Because first, and when we look at, I want to go with before we go there, guys. Trump earlier today said, "Hey, he's going to sanction Russia, okay, to try to get the peace talk going, okay." But what they did was they suspended so intelligence, sharing intelligence information with Ukraine. Russia has, and the French say they're going to step in and provide some intelligence information, but Russia has used that in order to like pound Ukraine and get better positioning because right now they really don't have a bargaining chip because Ukraine's been whooping their ass, and so I think Trump is trying to appease people here by going after Ukraine because he never said. I mean, after Russia by saying the things that he said about Russia, like possibly put more sanctions on them, which he would never do. Okay, and people are like, oh, he said this, but he's not going to do that. Everyone knows he's not going to do that. Okay, but at the same time, he's cutting off intelligence information to Ukraine. Okay, and allowing the Russians to bombard them. Okay, once again, Ukraine is in this position because of us. I believe a lot do with us, I should say. But he cut off intelligence with them so that Russia can bombard them and have a better negotiating. It's like soften them up for negotiating. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. It's a schizophrenic. He's trying to like, oh, I want to penalize you by sanctioning you because you're not trying to negotiate more. And at the same time, he's saying as they step up the attack on Ukraine, say they don't. What I mean, anyone would do that. Basically, anyone would do that. He's okaying like they're the victim. Like Russia's the victim, and that they're defending themselves when they are the aggressor and the invader. So it's really weird. It's really weird to hear that kind of exchange take place. Tirah, Skald, anyone else that wants to jump in? You guys have any information on that?
Yeah, I got a
I
quick
think so.
question. I got a quick
Yeah.
question.
So, oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, how do we feel about funding Israel $5 billion a year plus?
For what?
Is that rhetorical? Who's that? P man?
It's somebody on Clubhouse.
Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. You on CH? Go ahead, bro.
He said, "How do y'all feel
You
about
guys
Sir,
it?"
letting me speak? Or
Go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. Let's try it
I
again.
wanted to make sure I made sure I heard Amber's question right. What'd you say?
Oh, my bad. I was asking, how do we feel about funding Israel a bunch of billions of dollars, of our hardworking tax money?
For
Yeah, can you
what?
let this guy on?
What do you mean
Like, is
for
there
Wait,
is there
what?
like is there an end to that?
one moment. Listen to me. I have no problem funding Israel, just like I have no problem funding Ukraine. All
Nah,
right.
we geeking, man. We geeking.
You know, you what?
I think he said he's geeking.
Yeah,
Okay, he's geeking.
he'll
All
say
right,
things.
Skull, jump
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, so I get most of my information here from ISW Institute for the Study of War. These guys are a bunch of former Pentagon and other military intelligence guys that run a think tank. They give pretty unbiased maps of what's going on in Ukraine. And what I find to be very interesting is there were three different fronts on which Russia started retreating in the last 48 hours. And then all of a sudden, we pull the satellite data and all this stuff from Ukraine, right? It seems to me like, it's like Trump's trying to play both sides and sort of just accelerate the conflict, not necessarily give one side an advantage over the other, right? He's saying, oh, I'm going to sanction Russia. Oh, I'm going to pull this from Ukraine. It's like, no, dude, just like make Ukraine run over Russia and Russia will freaking capitulate. I mean, I don't understand exactly what the logic is here. I'm sure that a conservative can come on here and explain to me why this is 4D chess, and I don't understand the art of the deal. But I'd love that to happen. I land.
One of the things many people don't know is that Ukraine is no longer able to access the satellite imagery that they were before. Trump put a stop to that to any of the companies that were issuing.
Shauna, that's all we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes.
No, you said aid. I'm talking about the
No,
satellite
no, no,
imagery.
no. I did not, Tara. I said he's no longer providing the intelligence. Is what we said.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about images, but I guess we can lump that into one. My apologies.
oh, mm, I had to throw that little sound effect in there. I got you, Shauna. Thank you for your share, Shauna.
Again, these are real human beings involved. uh, the what United States has done, it does not matter if Donald Trump feels that country is a company, then he's just the new CEO. And as a company, the United States made a contract with Ukraine that, yeah, brother, go ahead and fight Russia back, don't surrender, and we will help you. We will not send our troops, but we will send our weapons, and we will provide logistics, and we will provide intelligence. The company made a contract. The company that is,
You said that contract part already.
uh,
Just in case
yeah,
you
the
no,
United States.
just in case you wasn't aware, I'm just helping you just build a little bit.
Yeah, and now this another CEO comes and he reneges on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
What what the message it gives to the rest of the world, that United States is no longer a reliable ally. I am no fan of American empire, but uh, I feel that instead of Russia and China, United States is a far better hegemon or superpower. And
The thing about it though,
he's
uh,
effectively destroying the U.S. empire
Tony know how to hang.
single-handedly.
Hey, he know how to hang on to that. Jonathan, he got that mic. He's like, ugh.
he hanging on to
He's
that mic. Pause. My
he's
goodness.
single-handedly destroying the American empire.
Start.
That's what I
Hey,
feel.
Tony,
Tony.
Bruh.
Start over
Tony, where
from
do
the
you
very.
live?
Start
Tony,
over
where
from
do you
the.
live? Where do you live, Tony?
Yeah. Talk to him.
I'm in
Where
college.
do you live, Tony?
I'm in college.
No, but are you in the
I
U.S.?
am, yeah, I am in a
Don't answer her
Dor-
questions.
Are you in the
dormitory.
U.S.?
Don't answer
New
her.
York district in
Yes.
You don't
India.
have to
There's a
answer.
New York district in
Girl.
Tony,
India.
Tony,
Yes,
she's
I'm
gonna
in
ask you about your
US.
status pretty
I'm in the
soon.
state of New York and I live in a dormitory and I
One
can't
mic on
provide
one mic on
any more
Angela. One
information.
mic on Angela and Tony. Go ahead, Angela.
Yeah, but I gotta listen. I gotta like one other question. How old are you? Because really, you sound old AF,
Yeah,
sir.
he does
You
Yeah,
sound old as
really
hell.
do.
AF.
I
He
mean,
does
it's
sound old
me
as hell.
talking.
I
No,
am
but
One
seriously, how old are you, Tony? You're talking about like
uh,
you're in a dormitory. What the?
I am 26. I am
Ah, you're
pursuing
That's
cap.
a
You're
damn
fucking
lie.
lying.
I am
Don't get
pursuing
chat.
my PhD. Yeah, sorry, matlab, whatever you want to assume, it's okay.
Angela, Angela,
I am 40
Angela,
years old.
Get
It's
this
okay.
man out here
Angela.
I'm here,
lying,
Jerry. I'm
liar.
here,
Hey,
Jerry.
hey, Tony and Angela was trying to have a conversation,
Okay,
guys.
so Tony, I'm gonna ask you this. What dormitory are you in?
Mm.
Don't
Oh,
answer that. That's
stop
you
answering,
don't.
Okay,
Shame
no,
Angela.
on you.
She's trying to
I think
dox you. Get out of here,
Don't get
Angela.
Can
doxxed,
they have?
What?
Tony. That's
Can
no.
they?
What are
unprofessional.
you
Listen? Tony's a big
What are
man.
you talking about?
Let the woman have her
This,
conversation.
yeah,
Go
this
ahead,
is
Tony.
the only
You're
piece of.
okay. Wait. Don't Tony. Don't answer that question.
Madam, if you will pause, I will
Don't
answer.
answer that
He said
question.
pause.
You're in a
Call her
college.
madam.
You're in a
Yeah.
college. You can call me. You can call me whatever you want. It doesn't faze me. So you're in a
No, it was out
college.
of respect.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I do. So you're in a college dormitory. You're attending college right now as a college student in a dorm.
I am in a PhD program, yes. And the program I am in, there are no other Indians there. So anything else that I tell you, that makes me vulnerable to be identified, and I won't be able to provide any more information, personal
Yeah,
information.
no. I'm not asking that. So you're living in a dorm in New York City, and you're a college student.
No, I'm not in the
He's
city.
living in a dorm in New York State, and he's getting his PhD. Pay
And this is
attention,
and I
Chipmunk.
think it's important that we're not trying to
Oh my
invade
god!
anyone's privacy. But I still
Oh
don't think
my
Tony. Why
god!
do you think that you're why? I'm really perplexed by
Shauna, you're
this.
gross, but what I yield.
No, that wasn't Shauna. That was Daphne, Angela. And I don't want you to yield. I want
No,
you to say
Shauna called me chipmunk. She always does because
I missed
she's
that.
very impressed with my voice, and maybe my voice is very light, but it comes with great strength. But Shauna
You have
has
a nice voice, Angela.
she always calls me chipmunk,
You are
and it's
definitely not a chipmunk. They are
thank you,
cute.
Tony. you
Chipmunks
Tony.
are cute, ma'am.
Tony,
Tony, the
Tony,
reason
one,
why
Tony
I
said you're
asked
a
you.
ferret, not a chipmunk.
Tony, welcome to
So whatever.
Chatham.
I just none of what you call me is relevant. So that goes without saying. But Tony, the reason why I was asking because you sounded older than a college student. That's the only reason why I was asking.
Yeah, I am not in an undergraduate program. Like, I am doing my PhD, so yeah, I'm old.
Okay, we got to get off
But
of.
I
We got
can be
okay.
45 if you want to. It's okay.
Right now, y'all conversation is kind of getting pointless about. We going back and forth, back and forth. If he's in college, if he's downtown, if he's uptown,
Can I add something?
go ahead and add whatever you. Go ahead.
Great.
Great. Awesome. Go.
Really? What is it?
Go ahead, chat.
And if nobody knew, like, Indians actually get hurt by the DEI program. Like, there are so many of us that there is a quota set, and despite being extraordinarily meritorious, uh, a lot of Indians don't get into American colleges because they need to provide representation to white people as well.
Did you land, chat? Because I know you was trying to say
We
something.
haven't heard chat. We haven't heard chat.
I know she said
Yeah,
she wants.
yeah. So I mean,
Take a deep breath, chat, and that mic just a
it
little.
is still loud. This is the new. This is the 16. I'm sorry. I got money. So here's the thing.
I got a 13. I got the old one. So
Oh, that's how you got to yell in the mic. Pause. So this is what I don't understand
you know what,
about.
Angela, you gonna let her talk to me like that, Angela?
Don't send her over here.
Angela,
Don't send her down my
Wait.
street.
I'm here. What? I'm
I'm a
here.
whole Texan.
she's disrespecting me right now, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
What a chat?
That's
What?
your problem, Jerry. Don't
That's
bring in the
that's right. You send
because
over, she
because
limping back.
my
I'm
sis will
here. I'm
take her
here.
down.
Yeah, she walk over, but she limping
One
back.
mic on Angela and chat. We have a
Here we
showdown. One mic on. Go ahead, chat. You asked for that smoke. Go ahead, chat.
No, this smoke is actually for Jonathan.
Uh-oh. Not too much on Jonathan. I mean,
So
I I
so
I, I protect Jonathan. There's a brick wall between Beef and Jonathan. You
well
gotta go.
no,
You
no.
gotta go through me first.
Okay. Well the question is, it's not really
You like
smoke,
that,
but
Jonathan? Jonathan, you like that?
is Trump still considered a Russian operative if he's willing to put sanctions on Russia for not stopping the war in Ukraine?
I call
Angela.
Cap.
Oh,
No,
go
I'm
ahead.
asking.
I call Cap. He's not willing to put sanctions on. He's not. He just said that to get people to say believe that he's not. That he's being fair. Everyone noticed that he always called Ukraine out, but he never called out Russia. He stopped sharing intelligence. He stopped doing everything, and he's allowing Putin to pound him worse than he's ever pounded him in the last year or so during the negotiations. Now that's BS. That's why the title says schizophrenic.
Uh, I don't know whether it's an agent or not, but there is a fact that employees from Russian embassy met with this guy called Papadoulos, this ferret-looking person, and they met inside the Trump Tower before the elections in 2016. And after he came in power, he forbade the FBI from pursuing the investigation any further. That's a fact. That Trump representatives met with Russian embassy employees inside Trump Tower in New York.
yo, yo, Tony's brain. Tony's coming hard. Tony's coming hard.
Hey,
I don't
hey,
know
hey,
what the hell he said.
you know what? He actually came from. Hey, shout out to Tony for actually when I requested for him to come over, he came over. So shout out to Tony. Appreciate you, Tony.
Heck yeah. And shout out to everyone that comes up
Shout out,
and joins the conversation.
yeah,
Really.
shout out to Real for sending him an invite. You're welcome.
Thank you, Real.
You're
All right,
welcome.
guys, we got about 10, 15 minutes left here. Jerry,
Yes, sir.
you know, we've been doing something called Chatter Local.
Okay.
All right. And Adrian, are you here, Adrian? Adrian going once. Adrian going twice.
I heard it. It was dope too. I heard her, Jonathan. It was dope.
Adrian, I'm gonna have to call her and wake her up. Can somebody
Listen,
call
that's why I
Adrian and
came
wake
off
her up?
mic, and she's getting rested up because you guys, if you don't know, Adrian Barker and the rest of the incredible crew here at DTN, they have a debate the news local show before the main show here at night, and it's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let me tell you, that show is hot, it's on fire, and I think it might be better than the real show. So you guys, if you want to check it out yourself, you got to come over here to Chatter Social Live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do it daily, Monday through Friday, every single night here, and it's a lead up into this show. And we were hoping that Adrian would come up, but maybe we have some of our other co-hosts, Jonathan, could chime in and talk about it. Back over to you, sir.
No. Now I was hoping to get Adrian here, but
Same.
I'll see what we can do. Um, so anyway, Jerry, yeah. So you heard it was dope. Anyone here has a story from earlier? Anyone share the story? Any 2B, are you here too? Watch he be gone. 2, are you here?
That man is sound asleep.
Yeah, everyone's gone.
Heck yeah, they were like, "That's your shift, boo. That's your."
Yeah, but
No,
yeah,
it was
Jerry,
so. You guys, listen.
Jerry,
Who
it's
was
pretty dope.
on
Jerry,
here? It was
it's
so good,
pretty.
right, Jonathan?
Yes, Jerry, it's pretty dope, Jerry.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm trying to slide in. Yeah,
Slide in, Jerry.
Jonathan.
go
Sorry.
slide in.
Jonathan, I actually went and listened to the replay. I listened to it yesterday and today, and I like it. And the lady he's speaking about, she has a lot of energy. She's very high paced, high energy. What I like about it though is you guys or they hop around from different topics. It's like whatever's going on is it's not stuck to just one particular title. So that's what I think is really dope about it, the way they just bounce around. Then they ask the audience what do they want to speak about. So you guys should check it out, especially those of you that's off of work at about 6 p.m. Eastern time. Go in and check out the DTN Daily News Edition. I think you guys will like it. I like Jonathan. I see what you're doing, bro. I see what you're doing here.
You see the vision? You see the vision, Jerry? You started to see the vision?
I didn't see it, but now I see you're about to create.
See the
Yes,
vision?
a little something for everybody. Some people like afternoon. Some people like evening. You know me. I like the night because that's the after party. But yeah, but everybody got their time.
You know we have DTN Sports coming up as well, right?
Hey, don't forget about the 7th round fit. Even though it may not. Yes.
Yeah, tell them about 7th round fit, bro.
Jonathan.
Oh my goodness, who's that speaking?
This is Cavs.
Cavs.
Yeah, I'd wanted to say something much earlier,
She
but
just cut me off.
back
though.
and forth. Sorry,
I
go
know
ahead.
us damn women.
I'm sensitive, miss.
Late night, you're sensitive now,
but
Jerry.
since you have such a beautiful voice, I'm going to yield to you. Go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Yeah, no, the room was closing, and I wanted to say one little thing about DEI. And there is a program. I know I'm taking us back, but I thought it would be interesting to mention. It's called the Kennedy Project, and it was started in 1958. This is a time when JFK was the president, and one of the beneficiaries of that program is senior Barack Obama. And obviously, because he came to the US, President Obama was born here, and that was some of the impact or the effect of that program. And another lady, this is the Kennedy Project was actually in Kenya, and another lady called Wangari Maathai was a Nobel laureate winner about 15 years ago, and many other people who came from that program. And many of these, if anybody had gone to the background of some of the people that were selected, many of them went to school and were writing on the floor with sticks. So the education program at that time was very, you wouldn't imagine that those people would come out and be successful in Harvard or any of the other Ivy League programs that many of these students ended up going into. Anyway, so that's what I just wanted to say about the DEI, that a lot of individuals would have been missed because they wouldn't have been chosen because of their backgrounds. But when they're given an opportunity, their intelligence shone and they went on to become leaders wherever they went.
Cabs. I appreciate that, and you know why I let you give me that and just jump in because you have such a beautiful accent.
Well, thank you.
What's bro? The girl got a good accent. You know me. Normally I'll be like, "Why you cut me off like that?"
Call HR. Call HR. God, welcome back, Chair.
Damn, what I do?
Can I make a small correction?
Hey, yeah, Tony, jump in and take Tony. Tony, this is what I want you to do, Tony, take your time, okay? I'm gonna give you some music. Go, Tony.
Something else, man.
Yeah.
Go, Tony.
So
Take your time.
that was not this populist person. In fact, it was Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, Paul Manafort, and 4 other U.S. citizens, and a Russian lawyer called Natalia Veselnitskaya. They met inside Trump Tower in New York City on June 9 in 2016. And again, like, this is very difficult to believe with my scammy call center voice, but I also have a conspiracy theory that when Donald Trump went to Russia for his Miss Universe pageant, he got 2 Russian hookers in his hotel room, and he got them to pee on him. And
Jonathan, you see, I know what I'm doing, bro. Go ahead, Tony. Jonathan, I got this. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, so this guy,
Take your time, Tony.
This Vlad guy, who also happens to be Russian president, he recorded it, and now he's blackmailing Donald Trump on the basis of those recordings. I don't know why he would get blackmailed. Like, this guy should be proud. At least somebody deems it worthy to piss on him. I wouldn't. But But yeah, this is my conspiracy theory. Too.
Hey, Tony, you officially made it to part of the DTN team, my brother. You. I am inducting you into the main. I'm going to do a veto, and I'm inducting you into the main. No, an executive order. You are inducted into the main part of the show, Mr. Tony. Okay, but it's going to be one condition. Okay, are you ready, Tony? Tony,
Oh, thank you, Senor.
let me tell you the condition you have to do. I need you to go to the link up top. Okay, I need you to go to the link up top, and I need you to download a couple episodes. And according to what they're saying, you can put it on autopilot. The reason why I keep saying I want y'all to go to 2022 and late 2023 because I got
Jerry,
a
it's 10. When you tell people to download, please, it's 10.
Daphne. I think I know what I'm
Okay, he's
doing.
got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Thank you, thank you. So Tony, it's the reason why I keep saying I want y'all to go to late 2022, early 2023 because it's a couple episodes with me and Jonathan Bing, and we are in rare form. You guys will hear a part of me and Bing that y'all never heard before, and yeah, y'all will hear a part of me and Mr. Bing that y'all would never have before. But Daphne, for the fact that you jumped in a couple times, and the
Yes,
fact that
sir.
for the fact that you've been telling me to do that, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Just so we know and everybody in the room knows, what does that cash flow stand for behind you? What does that cash flow stand for?
Well, since you asked, Jerry, cashflow dot inc. That's the website. Cashflow Inc. is my website for my company, Cashflow, and it's a place for investors that want to make their business cash flow. Thanks for asking.
Okay, okay. Thanks
Okay,
for
Daphne.
answering.
Damn. Hey, Daphne Christine. Wow. So anyway, yeah. So I have a question for you. We spoke about DTN daily. Okay. News. What about DTN? What other DTN? We spoke about DTN sports. Okay, where people come in and debate sports and topics. What other DTN shows are coming up?
Well, I'm going to be running DTN markets. Hopefully, I can get some other people in here that
Okay,
are.
okay, Daphne. Okay, I hear you, Daphne. Keep it going.
No, listen, the reason
No,
that Skull jumped in,
I'm
no,
just,
no, 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 you're good.
go ahead, go
No, no,
ahead,
no,
go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead,
no,
Cole. Go ahead.
no, 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 no. Don't let John razz you. John, I messaged Scald on the back because Scald is heading up the market report, is right up my alley. Listen, cash flow is what that's what we do, right? Money, business, cash flow. If you guys don't know, also, and I was trying to get rid of my echo back here, because I'm also over here on the other app. But I say that to say I had messaged Skull to buy a little bit of time so he could talk about that market report that he's going to do in the mornings because I am so excited about that. That's probably going to be one of our hottest hits coming up in the new micro. What do you call these, like micro news shows? But Skull, back to you.
Yeah, so the goal is to go 10 a.m. to probably 10:30 a.m. every day that the market's open, Monday through Friday, and I'll just be talking about the stock market, economics, crypto, and just the general state of the market for that day. I'm working on getting some guests lined up here. I've got a quantitative trader, and I do have a guy who's a family office manager. I'm trying to see who else I can get on here as guests who will come on and talk about what they do and what they're investing in and what they're seeing in the market and give their opinions as well as my own. I land.
All right. All right, Skull. So that's good there. So yeah, Jerry, with that, let's go ahead and land this thing, Jerry.
Okay, Mr. Bing, with your permission, Mr. Bing, what I'd like to do is I'd like to play a little music and you just go ahead and bring us home, bro, because I love the way you got that energy on the intro and the outro. Mr. Bing, I got a question for you.
What's that,
Here's my
sir?
question. First of all, I know you don't like when I do this. Special shout out to Jonathan Bing, the hardest working man in social audio. This man, oh, damn, I was about to say this man keeps the lights on. This man really, really, really does the damn thing. So shout out to Jonathan Bing. I couldn't have been blessed with a more perfect teammate from day one that I got on social audio. I mean that from the top of my heart. I know I didn't say bottom of my heart. Top of my heart. One day I'm gonna share a story with you guys of how I met Mr. Bing on the original app. I actually reached out to him because of something I saw him doing in the room. He probably don't want me to talk about it right now, but one day I'm gonna share how we
Go ahead, Joe. We got a couple minutes.
I'm glad you asked. Okay, so that was called the framing effect, guys. So listen, I didn't know Jonathan Bing. This was early on. This was, I was doing little mediocre rooms or whatever. So I went in the room and it had like 200-300 people. It was a very big room. And they were banging on Jonathan.
There was like 600 people in that room.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I knew it was a big room. They were banging on Jonathan, just going in, and he'd go to the stage, they kick him down. He'd go to the stage, they kick him down. And they just kept going back and forth. I'm talking about they was like, peek, peek, peek. Listen, they was handling him. He was getting his ass whooped. But he would no, let me say this. Let me say this. It appeared that he was getting his ass whooped. But he went back up on stage, and in about 10 minutes, he started talking, and everybody just shut up and listened to him. And he completely turned the entire room around. And it was like poetry. I was impressed with it. So what I did was I DM'd him. I sent him a back channel. Remember that, Mr. Bing?
I remember that.
I sent him a back channel. I said, bro, now remember, I don't know this dude. This is before me marathon. This is before Debate the News. I said, respect to you because of what you did in that room. You stood 10 toes and you turned the entire room around. And that's how we became what we are today. So shout out to Mr. Bing. Now, something you want to add, bro?
No, none I want to add at all, man. Yeah, yeah, we've been like this right since then, bro. Absolutely,
I won't say we've been like this.
like this, like this right here.
No, me and Mr. Bing is unbreakable. So we good always. So appreciate you, Mr. Bing. Now, Mr. Bing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go with that outro, my brother. So are you ready? Appreciate you guys. Mr. Bing.
That's right. All right, guys. Here's the deal. All right, so first and foremost, thank you guys for coming out and joining us tonight. Had a great time, a wonderful conversation. But most importantly, you guys that's listening at home, you don't have to listen from home, okay? I don't care if you're listening on Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, wherever, Pandora. Guys, download the Chatter Social app and come join us. Okay, we do this nightly, approximately 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys come join us. Also, with that being said, if you're in this room, up top, okay, either room, up top there, we have a link. Guys, that link gives you access to our whole backlog. And Jerry's right. We have shows from 2022, 21. All those shows are on there. You guys are able to access that all of that and listen to it. So go down like 10, 15, 20 of them. Download 10, 20, 15 of them. And you hear Jerry and I going back and forth, doing everything that we're doing. But most importantly, guys, follow, and hit instant download, automatic downloads as well. With that, Jerry, I'm going to hand this back to you, man, so you can take us out the right way.
Shout out to all you wonderful people in Debate the News, all the co-hosts, and all you beautiful people that's in the audience. Shout out to all y'all. Give yourselves a round of applause. Shout out to everybody that joined the conversation. Shout out to my man Tony. Welcome to Debate the News. And shout out to Angela. Shout out to you, Angela. Shout out to Shauna. Shout out to Skald. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Chat. And shout out to everybody that joined in this conversation. We appreciate y'all. More do you know. We could not have a show without you wonderful folks. So, this show is now officially over.